Hi everyone, this is Sarah again. Today I wanted to talk to you about a really lovely experience I had last weekend. I went to a kneading festival in Lyon, and this is in France if you don't know where Lyon is, and it is called Knead It. Festival about food and yarn. What else can I ask for? So I decided to go in June. I think this is when they started selling the tickets. Um, you know how hard it is to make friends as an adult, okay? This is a constant struggle for me. And the thing is, I don't enjoy completely doing stuff on my own. And I was also asking myself, like, wondering if I would go on my own, like, if I should wait for someone to tell me, yeah, let's go together. And at some point, I'm thinking that I'm tired of waiting for anyone to actually do something. So in June, I just decided to go on my own. I was like, you know what? Worst case scenario, you swim in a sea of yarn and you enjoy. I love train rides, so you enjoy your train ride. You discover a little bit of that city that I actually have never visited, and you go back home. Okay, so I just decided to go. I booked my entry ticket. I booked some workshops and talks, and then I actually sent a message to a friend of mine who lives in Lyon, but who I didn't know if she'd like that. But I did send her a message and asking if she would like to grab brunch on a Sunday morning, and she actually told me that she actually would be super interested in going to the festival too. So yay for me. I was really happy. She also offered to host me like while I was there. So very grateful for this. So yeah, everything was decided in June. Fast forward to September. So last week. So I took my train. I did take some days off before the Friday and after the Knead as well because I knew I would be tired. I'm currently very, very stressed with work. I have my anxiety is through the roof. So I'm doing what I can to manage this. So on Friday, I took my train. I think around like 12:44 or something like this. I enjoyed my train ride a lot. I got to watch what's his name? Sherlock Holmes. I think it was the second, like a Game of Shadows, I think it's called in English. And then when I was done, I managed to watch a few episodes of Vampire Diaries, which is a very, very autumnal show for me, the atmosphere and everything. And obviously, while I was watching everything, I actually wasn't eating because I never stopped eating, honestly. I always have something on my needles. If I take a break of a day, it's fine, but I always have something on my needles. And I was working on a cardigan for a little while. It is this one. Hopefully you can see a little bit the details of the sleeves. But yeah, it's a very, very pretty cardigan. And yeah, it's called Symbiose. Symbiose. It is from well, obviously I don't have my phone. It's filming. It is from Marie-Christine Lévesque. Ha, remembered. And I'll put a link to the pattern on Ravelry in the description if you want to find it. It's very lovely. Normally there are extra details on the border here, on the collar and on this whole border, but for now I'm fine without them. So I finished it, I think 2 days ago. I finished it 2 days ago, so it took me a little bit longer than just the trip. But when I started working on the sleeves, it went pretty fast. So I finished it 2 days ago. I just don't have the buttons that I want for it yet, so this is the only thing that's left. Alright, sorry. Back to Knead It. So yeah, I was kneading on the train ride, and then I reached Lyon, went to my friends for dinner, and laughing, talking, and because we hadn't seen each other, I think, in a year. And then on the Saturday morning, I needed to go to a certain place in Lyon, not directly to Knead It, because I actually had a museum visit that I booked. It's linked to the Need It. Like it was something offered by Need It. I think it was €8 or something like this. And I thought, you know what? I don't know Lyon. It's a visit that is very linked to the history of the city. I was like, let's go. Let's do this. Let's try and discover a little bit more about city. Sorry, my mouth is so dry. I was ill this week. I still, like, this is the end of the sickness, but oh my god, I had a cold. Today's Sunday, starting on Thursday afternoon, and it has been it has been a trip. Yeah. So, je sais plus où j'en étais. Oh, yeah, sorry. Could not remember where I was. So yeah, the visit. It was at 10 o'clock. Unfortunately, I'm not a morning person, but this time I was on time. So I jumped on a bus, which took a while. Honestly, the bus was kind of long. I think it was about half an hour to get there. But it's fine. At least I didn't have to change buses, and I actually found a sitting space. When I got there, so it was a museum, and the beginning of the visit, so you get there, you show them the ticket that you bought to show that you're part of that visit. And then you get to a room where you have all these old machines. Ooh, sorry, I forgot to say, the museum is about Lyon is, how to explain, Lyon is a city that was and is still renowned for its work with silk. And basically this whole museum is about how they were weaving silk, and it was incredible. The whole thing was amazing. So yeah, you start with this room where you see all the machines, and you do get a small, like, very short description of how everything went about, how the workers were organized, and then the real visit starts. You are taken actually to a room that is on the other side of the street, so you actually get out of the museum and get to another room, which is actually the workshop, where all the weaving machines are. I'm sorry, I don't know the name in English, but these are actually authentic machines from back in the time. I don't know like how they're called, when weaving meals. No, but they're still working. They were still working perfectly. Actually, the lady made a demonstration of how they were weaving, and she explained to us like how much time it was taking. I think it was about, you were working on about like 3 centimeters an hour. It is definitely detailed work. That means that at the end of the day, if you did a 10-hour day, you had 30 centimeters of fabric that you made. It's insane. It's mind blowing. And she showed us a piece of fabric that actually had threads made out of gold and silver. And this specific fabric was worth €35,000 a meter. It's just insane, like, in terms of price. And she explained that back in the days, the people who were buying these were mostly, aristocracy, the kings, queens, all those people, and maybe some very high level army people. But the question is, like, who buys this today? Who buys this today? Who has $35,000, or sorry, euros to spend in 1 meter of fabric? Well, there are still some people. There are still some people who do have that kind of money even nowadays. But yeah, it was very impressive, and it makes you appreciate more the handmade aspect of things, and how much time it takes, and know-how and skill. It is really impressive. It was amazing. The machine itself is incredible. I would definitely recommend you go to that museum. It is called La Maison des Canuts. Again, I will put the link below if you want to take a look at what it is. So yeah, you do start not start, but this is like one of the main parts of the visit. It takes a little while. I think it was about 20 minutes or something. And then when you're done with this and you saw everything that she's able to do with the machine and she explains everything, you go back to the first place, and you're taken to a small, very very small conference room, and then another lady takes over and she talks to you and explains everything that went into making garments, um, everything around the industry, how the industry came to be like one of Lyon's main income stream, because that was the case. Like Lyon, apparently originally the city did not like they didn't have anything to do with fabrics, garment making, or anything, and they were actually picked by the king to do that. It's all economically linked, obviously. But yeah, it was fascinating, very, very interesting. The lady actually was really interesting as well. Like, the way she spoke, it got you hooked. So yeah, I would definitely recommend you go and check this out if you have time and if you ever are in Lyon. It's worth it. It's definitely worth it. All right. So when I was done with that visit, I had about 2 hours until my next thing, and it was a talk about relationship between editors, so book editors and creators. I was very interested. I'm not currently like thinking about doing this, but you never know. It's knowledge that can always be useful, and I was very intrigued about like how everything worked in the background. So I had 2 hours. What did my little self decide to do? So one thing you need to know is Lyon is built. It has a lot of hills. Okay, a lot of hills. And I did not think. Okay, I I had two options to go to the proper like place where the needed was happening. Either I was going using buses and metro and all that, or I walked. The walk was about 40 minutes. The thing is, like, taking transportation, about the same. And it was €2 extra. Like, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna walk. I have time. Again, same purpose. Like, let's visit the city. This is how you visit places, not using the car, using your feet. So this is what I did. Just 1 second. I need to drink again. Like, I'm so freaking dry. Ooh. All right. So yeah, I decided to go on foot. Um, the thing is, so obviously I used our friend Google Maps to do that, and I saw that the path it was showing me was actually going through one of the biggest parts in that city, and I really wanted to see it, so I thought, you know what, let's go, let's do 40 minutes, let's do this. And I did not think of the hills. So I started following what Google was showing me, and then I ended up at the very beginning of a very, very, very long series of steps that were going down, and it was one street. It took me about 10 minutes to get down at the very bottom of the hill. It was epic. It was a journey. It was definitely a journey of the soul, because when I was going down, there was no one with me going down as well. Like, I just saw people going up. I was like, why? Like, why do you do this to yourself? Like, why do you like to suffer? Because I was suffering going down. I was like, who does that? Like, crazy people. But there was like, I think, a small portion of that was a bit dangerous. Because you had a lot of figs that were falling from a tree. And they crashed on the ground, and figs are slippery. And at that particular section of the stairs, you didn't have like anything to hold on to. So that was interesting. But yeah, when I got finally I arrived at the end of that street, um, my legs were wobbly. It was scary because I was on my own. I was on my own. But yeah, like I kept on going because there was no one to help me. I just went there, so I just had to cross the bridge to reach the park. I was like, you know what, in the park, I'll just sit a little bit because I have 2 hours, you know. I need to eat. Oh yeah, because I hadn't eaten that morning. Um, that's also a reason why my legs were wobbly, probably. But yeah, I hadn't eaten, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna find something to eat. I'm gonna sit on the bench, enjoy my time there. Um, Luckily, my very good friend gave me a small packet of biscuits, so I had that in my bag, and I started walking across that bridge, went into the park. I was amazed. I was amazed. It was definitely not a Parisian park. It is not a park from Nantes, where I live. It actually reminded me a little bit of the parks in London. So I just enjoyed that like a lot. I really, really appreciated seeing that. At that moment, like, I felt like my decision paid off. So yeah, I went through that park. I kept on walking straight, again following Google Maps to just take the straight route to where I wanted to go. Otherwise, I wouldn't spend hours there. And then when I finally found a bench near the lake, I had the view on the lake. I sat there, ate my biscuits, read a little bit. It was really, really, it was a lovely morning. It was sunny and everything. Not too hot, just sunny. And then I kept on walking. I saw some squirrels. Sorry, I'm trying to pronounce it correctly. This is one of the hardest words in English. So yeah, I saw some squirrels. They were cute. They're hard to see on the video, but they're cute. Very orange, very autumnal. Even though here it's still not autumn. I don't know where it is, but it hasn't come yet. Like last week, I think it was like 24 or something all week now. Today and tomorrow, it is 29. Why? Okay. Anyway, so I kept on going, and then I was like, you know what? I need to eat, so I'm going to need it, because there's supposed to be food there. I arrived, and let's just say, I was not the happiest, because I arrived, and I saw a very, very, very long queue, and I thought, you know what? This might be the queue for people who don't have the tickets, because, you know, when it happens, maybe they do have that. I approach, and I'm being told that, no, this is the queue for everyone. So even if you do have a ticket, you are not guaranteed to get in. You're not guaranteed to get in. So what is the point of me booking the ticket and booking the workshops as well? Because the workshops are actually, you have to pay for them. They're not free. The workshops are not free. So like, why do I pay for workshops if I cannot get in on time? I think this is like the only very negative thing that I have to say about this Need It festival. It's the queue thing. I don't understand why it was set up this way. Especially afterwards, I read an article saying that we were 5,000 this weekend. We were 5,000 this weekend. So I'm still like, I'm amazed. Like, yeah, this was definitely something that they should work on for next year. It's just like, yeah, the system was frustrating. Anyway, that means that for me that I did not have time to eat before I went to my first presentation that I told you about. So I just went to queue. Luckily, I did have my bottle of water, as usual, in my backpack. So I just went to queue for my first presentation. The thing is, I was thinking between that presentation and then the actual workshop where I would be doing something. I think I had 2 hours again. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go grab some food and then I'll shop and then I'll go to the workshop. It's fine. Let's just not faint. So I did queue, went to the presentation. It was very lovely. If I can show you. Oh yeah. So it was with an editor, and it was a lady handling the communication marketing for that editor that did a presentation. It was very lovely, super interesting. I learned a lot. And I almost felt ready to actually publish the book, even though I don't have anything to publish. But it was very, very interesting, and yeah, we got a free notebook. It's called Mon Carnet Créatif. The editions are called Les Éditions de Sexe. It is a family-owned editor. So happy to have heard from them. Very nice from them to give us this. Really, I thought it was very, very generous. And it's cute. I don't know. I like the flowers and all this color. Like, it's very nice. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, I went through the presentation. When it was done, I went outside. Thought I would eat. Because inside there was food, but there was, like, when I finished the presentation, there was no food left. So I went outside. There was a truck selling burgers. Just grabbed that. I was starving, to be honest. I just was starving. I grabbed that. I went to eat, and on the way to a bench that I saw in the street when I arrived, I saw a very small supermarket, but there was a supermarket. So I ate, and I went to the supermarket for a bottle of Coke because I needed that to wake up. I get some energy. I didn't have any sugar, so yeah, I went to do that, and then finally the time happened when I went to do some shopping. So I will get to that afterwards, show you what I got. First, let me tell you about my Sunday. So, oh no, sorry, I forgot about the workshop. So yeah, I did a workshop on my first workshop. My very first workshop was actually needing a small bunny. It's a lady. It's similar to amigurumi, but it is not with crochet. It's knitting, and it's a lady who just published a book. This book. I'll put the link as well below if you ever want to take a closer look. And she gave us some instructions to make that bunny. And then she gave us what we needed to make the bunny. So you do have the filling here. Ooh, the filling she uses actually is proper fleece from sheep. She does not use synthetic because this one apparently can be muddled a little, which makes it better for what she does. So she did give us some fleece. She gave us some thread to mark everything. Unfortunately, we did not have time to finish, so we just worked the head. Let me show you. My beautiful, beautiful bunny. So this is the beginning of the bunny. This is just the head, and she gave us also like those eyes that you could place. And you had to come with 2mm needles, which unfortunately I had forgotten. Or actually no, because I did not have 2mm. I had 225, I think. So I had to buy some on the go, and I found these Knit Pro the Mindful collection. They're sock needles. Here they are. I don't know if you can see them properly, but they're sock needles. Ooh. And thing is, they are not the regular sock needles that I have, because I do have some. Normally you have one shorter needle and then the longer one on the other side, and in this case they're both the same length, which was a little strange for me. But I couldn't work with them anyway, because apparently you needed the long needles to work with the magic loop. So she landed me a pair of needles to do that, but it was very, very nice, like very lovely. I had the fun with the people I had the workshop with. Unfortunately, I had a massive headache. I'm gonna guess the food, being tired, almost no water all day did not help. But yeah, overall, I think the workshop was absolutely great. The lady was very, very nice, super interesting. She explained everything very well, and she actually sent us an email this week saying that if we needed help to finish the small rabbit, we could actually send her an email and ask like our questions. She does not owe us anything after these 2 hours and a half. And yet here we are, like with an email asking if we needed help. So I did really, really appreciate that. All right, finally, this is my Saturday. On the Sunday, I was supposed to participate to a presentation by La Bien-Aimée in the morning, but I decided to just go for a brunch with my friend, because I thought it was better spend time. So I did that. My friend is celiac, so she cannot eat gluten, and she found a bakery that is gluten-free in Lyon, and it is great. I don't have that. I'm not celiac. I don't have a problem with gluten. And that bakery was amazing. Okay, so we ate brunch there. I did get a slice of quiche, and then I got a dessert that was like a pie, sorta. Was supposed to be pecan and maple and vanilla. I did not find the maple that much, but it was really good. Overall, like everything was perfect for what it was. And then we had to knead it, because she had a workshop and I had a workshop too. And I forgot, I don't know where I put it, shoot. But yeah, the workshop I had this afternoon personally was patchwork. I had never done patchwork. The only thing I sewed was a pair of pants, and since then I have stopped sewing because my machine is a nightmare. But I thought, you know what, I always wanted to see how patchwork is done. Let's do this. Luckily, they were bringing the machines themselves. The lady explained everything was actually working for the machine company. I guess it's a good way for them to, you know, show what their machines can do. And yeah, so the workshop went very well. I think there were less people in that workshop than the previous one that I had. But again, like, yeah, we could not entirely finish what we did. It was like 2 hours and a half is apparently too short to do what we had to do. Just give me a second. I will grab what I did. All right, so the patchwork workshop was really cool. Unfortunately, so we did not finish what we were doing. And I don't know when I'll be able to finish it because I need to fix my machine before I can do anything with it. Um, but here is what I ended up with after 2 hours and a half. It was really fun. Okay, it was really fun. I don't know if I'll be doing like full, how's it called? A full blanket, because it is a lot of work, but it was really fun. Had to blow my nose. All right, so yeah, this was the patchwork thing, and I know my friend did a workshop on torsades. I don't know how you call them in English. It was kneading torsades and lace, and so kneading seems to be very interesting. I knew the teacher, as in like her Instagram, everything. I was fangirling from afar. But yeah, that was the last workshop, and then we went a little bit again for a round of shopping. I got some more stuff, and then we were our separate way. She went home, and I went to the train station for my ride back home, where I again knitted my cardigan. All right, so let's talk about shopping. I started by going around the stalls just to see what was happening, what was available, who was there, what was sold, basically. And I found this first stall of a brand I did not know. From what I understand, they're Italian. It is an Italian brand that is selling mostly non-superwash yarn. But I fell in love with one of their color. And the problem is I did not have a pattern ready for that anything. I did not ready myself for any of the purchases I made. I know I saw people coming with lists, because they knew what they wanted. I did not. I just knew I wanted to buy yarn. I didn't know for what. So, I kept on walking, even though I loved the colorway I found. And oh my god, there was a lady there, okay, at the Needed, who I think is a marketing genius. She is a marketing genius. If I can find her card somewhere, that would be great. Man, I saw it. I know I saw it earlier. Where did I put it? Oh, here we go. Yeah. So there was a lady there during the Needed who is a marketing genius, okay? Because I'm pretty sure I am not the only one in that case, like not having any pattern in mind and still wanting to buy yarn. And she was selling her patterns. So basically, you were like, okay, what do I do? You went to her stall, found a pattern you liked, and then you could look around for the yarn that goes with it. And that is her. It is Atelier Emily, and it is des patrons à tricoter, so patterns to knit. I'll try to put her information below. And so what I bought is it is not a cardigan, it's almost a vest, I guess. The collar is that high, and then it is sleeveless, okay, and it goes down. The thing is, I do have a t-shirt with very big sleeves, and I never know what to wear it with, and I thought this would go perfectly with it. So yeah, this is the pattern I got. It is called Newport. So she offered either a physical pattern, or you could just get a code and download it from Ravelry, which is what I decided to do. And then what I did is I went back to that stall with the Italian ladies, and the brand is called, where is it? La Nivendol. I do not know how to pronounce it. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced it. But La Nivendol, like this is it here. Hopefully you can see it. All right. And this particular yarn is a Stormy blend in DK. And it is it is great. Like, I love how it seems to be very poofy. Um, but I know that this type of yarn would be very itchy for me, because as soon as I'm like a little bit hot, if yarn enters in contact with my skin and sweat, I'm done. I cannot. I have to get out of that sweater. So yeah, I got that. I got 4 of those, I think. Yeah, 4 of those to make the pattern that I just talked to you about. And the colorway is called Lumen. Is Lumen. So it's a bit of a muted orange. It goes towards brown as well. I fell in love when I saw it, okay? It's just amazing. Yeah. I can't stop on like touching it, and like I am amazed at the color. Just love it a lot. So yeah, I did that for that, and then I just kept on walking, and I stumbled upon a product I had seen while scrolling on Instagram, but I did not remember until I saw it on that day, and it is called La Paire, and it's presented like this in like sort of a milk carton. This is what really like stuck with me is the milk carton thing. So it's called Les Deux Font La Paire, and it is from a brand called The Woolly Kind. I think it is on that bag actually. Yeah, that's the brand. It's the brand, The Woolly Kind, and this is in the colorway Winifred and Thackeray. And the idea here is that you will be able to make socks with what is in there. Winifred and Thackeray, if you don't know where it is from, please get out of here. It is Hocus Pocus. Okay, Winifred is the witch with the orange hair, and Thackeray is the cat. This is Winifred and Thackeray. This is perfect. Like, this is definitely Winifred. 100%. Like, this represents her so well. And this is purple for Thackeray, which I guess goes as well with the cat. It's a black cat in the movie. But I really, really like it. The thing is, the yarn here is, so this is Winifred and Thackeray. It is high twist, the base, and then it is made out of 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. It is 365 meters for 100 grams, and the small one is 20 grams, 73 meters. And you can use either 2.5 or 4 millimeter needles. This is hand wash or machine washable, so I guess it's super wash. Lay flat to dry. And this is 100 grams, which is usually more than what you get for a pair of socks, so I'm gonna guess you can make 2 pair of socks with that. So this is my actually future project after my cardigan, which I just finished. So they're not on my needles yet because I wanted to show it to you before. But this is definitely what I'll be working on in the next 2 weeks, because I want a pair of socks for Halloween. I do not have a pair of socks for Halloween. I think that will be perfect. That is the only yarn I bought for socks. I like socks, but I don't wear them that often with shoes. I'm afraid I'll break them. That's why. But yeah, I saw that colorway. I was like, you know what, I have to have it, so just went for it. What next? Oh yeah. So I think it was last year or the year before, I bought a Christmas box from a brand, which is actually a non-profit. They work for, it's owned by a lady whose little girl actually has an illness. I cannot recall the name of in English. I can't recall. Oh my god, shame on me. But basically, she sells yarn for that nonprofit, and so I got that box, and they were, so in that box you would get yarn, you would get a magazine, which was more like a book, and the thing is, they were, in that magazine you had patterns that you could make with the yarn that you had in the box. However, there was a pattern I really, really, really liked more than the others, and it required 2 skeins of the same yarn, and in the box there was just one of that yarn, and so I never used that yarn. And I found them. I had to need it. So I was so happy I found them, because that meant that I could actually get the yarn that I was missing to make the project I really, really enjoyed. It is a shawl, and this is the one. It's called a Vagalam, I think. And yeah, I'm so happy. So I found it. It's this one. The brand is Les Chevaux Solidaires. In this particular base, so this is actually the natural color of the yarn. It is full natural. You can get it dyed, but I needed the natural version. And I think the natural skein was 26 and the dyed one were 34. There's a good reason for that. This is called base Equinox, and it is 50% yak and 50% silk. It is a 400 meters for 800 grams and can be worked with 3.25 millimeter needles. So yeah, the price is definitely, it's worth it. Like, this is why it is worth that much. I think it's definitely worth it. Like, it's so freaking soft. I have not worked it yet because, well, I have not tried it, as I just said. But yeah, this will probably follow the socks in terms of small projects. I forgot how much I paid for the yarn, like at Lani Vendel. I don't remember. I think it was 24, something like this, per skein. I mean, that's like these are the regular prices that you pay for like actual yarn made with wool or more noble things. All right, and then last but not least, the last day. So on Sunday, I was walking around with my friend. So everybody was packing up, and well, actually no. Let's go back. On Saturday, so as I said, I walked around and I saw one of the most beautiful sweaters ever. That was displayed at one of the shops, and I fell in love with it. Okay, the color, the pattern, everything, and luckily, it was near the designer. The designer was here. The sweater's designer was here. So I did ask her, like, where I could find the yarn that would go with the sweater, with the pattern, because I would definitely get the pattern. I just needed the yarn that went with it. And she told me, oh, well, you're in luck because the person making the yarn is actually over there. Like, oh my God, how lucky was I? So I did go to the seller, and the thing is, the sweater was made with yarn that included mohair. I cannot. Mohair and me, as I explained, it's one of the worst things for me when I'm too hot. I do have one sweater I made with mohair and just never again. I can't wear it. It's super soft at first. Like, if I'm not too hot, it's super soft, but then like it's nightmare. So I was like, okay, I cannot get yarn with mohair. Is there an alternative? And the seller was so helpful. Okay, she explained everything she had, and I could not make my mind, so I just left on that day. But the day after, so on Sunday, when I went around with my friend, I decided that, you know what, I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna get the yarn and see what's the best. So she had two options. Again, I had a great experience with that one. She had two options that I could go for. Obviously, one was more expensive than the other because it had silk in it. So either there was a base with silk or the other one was purely merino. And what she did is she went to the designer to ask. I mean, this whole interaction was, I'm laughing because it's so incredible to me. Like, the designer and the yarn person were there at the same time. It was so great. But yeah, she went to the designer to ask like which one would be best, and the designer said literally, like, honestly, the merino one would be better. And she was like, okay, then let's go with merino. And what I'm trying to say is that she did not try to push the more expensive yarn. She did a great job at selling yarn. She did not try to push the more expensive one. She actually tried to push the better one for me. And this is what I want from my sellers. And I was grateful. I was grateful for that experience, because it's not often that you get that. People who are honest and not just trying to sell you, get the more money out of you. So yeah, it was very, very nice of her. And I did spend quite a bit because obviously, since I'm overweight, I cannot knit a sweater with 3 skeins. That is not possible. So usually I have to go with 5. And as I said, usually it is 24 euros a skein. So yeah, it is a bit of money for one sweater. But basically, yeah. So this dyer is called L'Atelier Tenture. Again, I'll put you their links in the description. And this is what I went for. This is the red I went for. So this is the red of the pattern. This is the red of the pattern, which is called pomegranate. The pattern is called pomegranate, which in French is called grenade. It's a fruit. And this yarn is called grenadine, which is a syrup that is supposed to emulate the taste of that fruit. But yeah, it's just... I love that red so much. It's just, yeah, it's very deep. Very soft, again, purely merino, but it's very soft. So that yarn is, let me tell you, it's called Pure Fingering 100% Merino, 100 grams for 400 meters. You can work between 2.5 millimeters to 4 millimeters needles. And then if you want a sample, it is with 3.25 needles, you get 28 stitches for 36 rows. So yeah, I bought 5 of these. I bought 5 of these. But I'm really happy. And where is it? There's one last thing I bought. I need it, and I cannot find it. Where did I put it? I'm lost. I've lost it. I've lost it. Ugh. No. Man. Oh, I'm sad. I'm sad. I know I have it somewhere. Like, I did put it here for you to see. Like, literally, I set it aside so I could show it to you. Well, okay, maybe not today then. Ah, here it is. Here it is. So, one last thing I bought on my way out. Because I did not... So, Needed itself, like, the festival was selling some merchandise. I know you had notebooks, you had totes, and you had bigger bags. There were magazines, books as well, and you had stitch markers, you had pins, and you had pens as well. And I actually got a pen. I got a pink one. I know you can get like purple and green and other colors, but yeah, I went for a pink one. Excuse my nails. Because I have enough totes. The bigger bag I would have gone for, but it was 22 euros. And again, like, I'm not sure I would have used it afterwards. Notebooks, same. They were kind of expensive, and I have enough notebooks. So thought, you know what, I'm going to go for the pen and pin it on one of my project bags. Yeah, so this was Need It for you. So Need It 2023. And honestly, it went so well, I think next year I might go back. So I was doing my outro when my phone decided to die, so I was trying to say that, yeah, I might go back next year probably, because this was a great experience. I learned a lot, and it brought me peace in a way, because I did not think of work, and it helped me manage my anxiety during the whole weekend. So yeah, I really enjoyed my time there. Definitely an experience I'd like to relive. So yeah, we'll probably see me there next year. Alright, if you are still here, thank you so much for watching, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.